Welcome back to Sunday Night in America. Benjamin Netanyahu will soon address a joint session of Congress, likely in late July. I was on the floor of the House for a Netanyahu speech years ago. He made a compelling case for what life is like as the only democracy in the Middle East, surrounded by unfriendly countries, some of whom want to push you and your people into the sea. From the river to the sea, that's the chant. Being surrounded by enemies should be good preparation for Netanyahu appearing before the squad, if they show up for his speech, and some other lefties in Congress as well. The world has changed dramatically since Netanyahu was last before Congress. There's been progress with the Abraham Accords, but now it's war that dominates. Congress has doves in both parties, but there are Democrats who appear openly hostile towards the Jewish state, with some calling for regime change in Israel, which is rich since they haven't called for Russia, Iran, or North Korea to replace their leaders. So what will Netanyahu say? What should he say? Will he do a better job of ignoring American politics than some Democrats have done in ignoring Israeli politics? And are we closer to a ceasefire? Is Biden still pressuring Israel to withdraw even as hostilities in the north increase and hostages remain kidnapped? Tal Heinrich is a spokesperson for the Israeli Prime Minister, and she joins us now. Welcome, Tal. Hamas to the south, Hezbollah to the north, and American politicians calling for regime change. These seem like challenging times for the nation of Israel.
These are challenging times, and thank you for having me on and for mentioning this, quite an overlooked aspect of the war, I would say, because people tend to forget that this is not just a war between us and Hamas, an Iranian proxy in Gaza. We also have Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. We had constant terror attacks emerging from the West Bank, from Judea and Samaria. Just a few days ago, we've had missiles from the Red Sea targeting our territory, meaning the Houthis in Yemen, another Iranian proxy. And thank you for mentioning Hezbollah. You know, notice this number. Since the beginning of the war on October 7th, we've had more than 17,500 missiles combined targeting our territory from both north and south. Hezbollah and Hamas. We have 61,000 residents of the north who are unable still to this day for more than 8 months now to return to their homes because of Hezbollah. Over the past week, we've had to, fight fires in the north for more than 9 hours. We've had projectiles and explosive drones targeting our communities, causing injuries and damage and whatnot. The Prime Minister, he took a tour of the north with the IDF, and there was a security assessment just a few days ago, and he said very clearly that one way or another we will restore security in the north. It is up to Hezbollah to decide if it's going to be a diplomatic way or the military way.
You know, Congress has changed a lot in the time since I've been there, but I don't think that Prime Minister Netanyahu has. My guess is that he is going to avoid American politics and focus kind of what he focused on last time, which is that Israel is unique. It is the only democracy in a sea of theocracies and non-democratic governments. I mean, that is my prediction, is that he will resist the temptation to insert himself into our politics, even though Democrats do not resist the temptation to insert themselves into Israeli politics.
So I think you're right, and we'll find out when the Prime Minister gets here in late July, and he will speak directly to the American people, thank the American Congress for the overwhelming support that we have been receiving since October 7th, even though this is not sometimes what you see on TV and what's being highlighted by the media, but we know that the American people stand by us because you guys hate terrorists, and we hate terrorists, of course, and we're fighting against pure evil, sheer evil, as President Biden called Hamas early on when he came to Israel to stand by us in the country. So the Prime Minister will speak the truth about this war and our very, very just war objectives as we defined them on day one of this war, to bring all of our stolen people, the hostages, back home, to dismantle the Hamas terrorist regime as a governing body in Gaza, as a military wing in Gaza, and to make sure that this territory, I should call it, a territory, will never pose a threat to us, never, ever again. This has not changed since day one of the war, and this is time for moral clarity. The Prime Minister will obviously thank the American people and also remind everyone that we need America by our side and the moral global leadership.
Before I let you go, you mentioned evil and you mentioned Hamas. So there is a ceasefire. Hamas is not going to all of a sudden accept Israel, accept the Jewish state in the region. So to me, a ceasefire just gives them time to regroup and rearm. But I will give you the last word on whether or not it is worth pursuing.
I think there's something that I need to highlight here. There's a difference between a temporary humanitarian pause in the fighting for the release of hostages, something that we facilitated back in November and we agreed to do again, and the notion of a permanent ceasefire that would leave Hamas in power. That's not going to happen.
Thank you, Tal Heinrich, and we will, as you say, see in late July exactly what Prime Minister Netanyahu says as he addresses a joint session of Congress. Thank you for joining us on a Sunday night.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.